What is up, Endgame community? It's draft time. That's right. This is real live, not mock, real draft for fantasy baseball. This is the Endgame League. And so it's me, it's Chris, he's in there, and just whoever has joined from our viewership. That's right. This is you guys, part of the community, drafting with us. It's a 12-team league, it's a redraft league. It's going to be head-to-head weekly, and so let's see what goes down. Going to start in 3 minutes here. So, quick breakdown of what it is for those who aren't in the league drafting. So again, 12-team snake. You can see right there the draft order randomly set because we have a lot of new people from last year. We did an Endgame league last year, but this is going to be a brand new league. So, here comes a little spiel. I think we can meet this. What's up, Andy? Actually in a league with Andy. Tris, one of our Endgame viewers, members, has several of his leagues, and one of them, an NL only league, Andy's in. We're in it together. That's definitely a tough league. Hopefully this one is fun. This league is mainly for those who are just wanting to play with others who are competitive, but this is not a hardcore league. This is not a keeper league. This is not a huge money league. It's not a money league. This is just for the love of the game. And a lot of people play big money leagues. Obviously, I played in several money leagues myself, but if you're not doing it for the fun, then really, what's the point? Okay, so as far as those tips, yeah, you do want to target stolen bases. I kind of agree. This is a weekly league, like I said, head-to-head weekly. I was going to do it as a roto league initially, but I decided that it really would be better to have the weekly leagues. I've always been a roto guy. That's how I started out playing fantasy baseball is roto. That's kind of all I knew. Weekly is really just kind of more catching on. And I like it because it keeps people engaged throughout the season. Because let's face it, if there's a roto league where you're just doing your 5x5 or maybe you tweak it, whatever, and you got those different categories, whatever they are, it's easy to kind of fall out of it. If you do fall out of it, or if you're not really at the top midway through the season, you might lose interest. And then that's not good for the whole league, because then the top people at the top stay at the top. People in the middle or the bottom who aren't really in it, they kind of aren't as active, or they just don't do anything to get themselves out of it. And then you just see more separation. That'll happen naturally. But I think the weekly format, every week you have a chance to win anew. And of course, for people who come over from football, that's what you used to. Every week is a showdown. So I think this will work. Let's see. I got plenty of every type of league under my belt. I do roto, I do weekly, I do points, I do dynasty, I do keepers. So I thought for our community, let's make it a little more beginner friendly, and we'll do that. So head-to-head, 12-team league, and the categories you can see are pretty common. We did runs, home runs, RBIs, stolen bases, and average. Exactly what you'd expect from your typical league. And on offense, only change I made for pitching was, you see saves are in there. I didn't make it a holds league because some of our people may not be familiar with holds, saves, and holds. Saves is still viable as a category. I took out wins. Wins should not be a category. Forget wins. Quality starts. The receiver, who was a team 12 here, made that suggestion. And so it is quality starts. All right, here we go. Pick one, shockingly, is Ronald Acuna Jr. All right. And then, by the way, just so y'all know, Chris is in this league. He set his queue. He may be able to hop on soon, but he promised he set his rankings, and he took Julio Rodriguez, number 2. All right. Nothing too unusual so far. I got the 8th spot. I was telling the league here, I set a random draft order and it gave me the number 1 pick. I said, okay, let me randomize it again. Let's do 3 times, just because I don't want to make it look like I gave myself number 1 pick. And I did it 3 times, and again, it gave me the number 1 pick. So I said, okay, let's do it 5 times. Did it 2, I swear to God, did it twice again. It gave me the number 1 pick. So I kept doing it. It took me 7 times until I wasn't the top pick. And so I'm at 8, which, whatever, it's fine. All right, let's see. Mookie gone. Strider gone. Strider number 4. You know what? That's aggressive, but Strider is he's looked. I can't argue against that. All right, so here we go. Freeman's off the board. Carroll's off the board. I'm not setting my queue because I know people who are watching are also in this league. So I'm talking about Fernando Tatis. Can't not draft him. Think he could be. I mean, he's already a stud, but you know what I mean. Could be easily the best non-Acuna pick in the first round. I would have taken Julio Rodriguez, of course, if you were here, which you won't be. But there you go. Got Tatis. By the way, anybody here watching, if you're not in this league, if you just want to throw out comments, I will be trying to monitor the comments while I'm drafting. That doesn't always turn out well, but that's okay. I'm pretty experienced at now. So, all right. Juan Soto was my other consideration there. Tucker and Soto off the board. And then Matt Olson, number 11. All right. Shohei Ohtani. Taco Ohtani. Anybody really worried about Ohtani with that whole thing? I'm not because it doesn't sound like it really was him. I mean, we don't know, right? We don't know all the facts, but it sounds pretty obvious that it was the interpreter. I don't see Ohtani being a guy who's got some sort of a problem like a Calvin Ridley or, these other guys. I just don't see it. But I'm not worried. I'm not changing my position of him as a first-round pick. I have zero concerns about Ohtani. Maybe not zero. Okay, but not too many. All right, almost up again. I will try to throw up the draft board so you can get that view, but I'm going to make sure I pick right here. Jordan almost fell to me, although the only thing that would have been 2 outfielders, my first 2 picks. Okay, right now this is sorted by the expert rank. I've been taking Albies a lot in round 2. I do need some... Well, I already got Tatis is going to get me some steals. I don't need to worry about steals. This is where I think it's still a little too early. I like Corbin Burns, but I think I got to go Austin Riley. No, actually, I take that back. I'm going to go Bryce Harper. I like Bryce Harper in the 6th. Between him or Riley. If they had both been gone, depending on when I picked them, I would have probably just taken Albies, and then Burns would be next. But I still feel like I can get some good pitchers in the next couple of rounds. I talk about this, and of course, in my videos. Yeah, I don't want to wait too long for my first pitcher. I can wait round 4, maybe round 5 is probably the latest. I do want an ace. An ace. Like, depending on your definition and depending on who you think qualifies as an ace. Still got some names out there. I think Pablo Lopez could be an ace for fantasy. I think George Kirby is an ace. Tyler Glass now if he stays healthy. Of course, Yamamoto if he doesn't do what he did in his first outing, which I'm not worried about either. I will be grabbing one of those guys. People tell me Logan Webb is an ace just because he eats up so many innings. He's just out there all the time. He doesn't hurt you at all in ratios. So yeah, that's kind of like George Kirby. He doesn't have a huge strikeout numbers, but he's gonna be just so effective every week. So yeah, I can dig Logan Webb as my ace, I guess. Once I get to this point, like Peralta, Fried, Valdez, all really good, but I prefer them as my second pitcher, not my first. So let's see how much longer I wait before I take the next pitcher. All right, so here's the board. I'll try to keep this up a little bit until it's my turn again. Got a few more picks. There's a run on infielders here, as you can see. We got Albies, Simeon, Riley, Alonso, and Devers, all very solid picks. No real reaches so far, I don't think. No, it's going pretty much by the book. All right, so number 1 team who got Acuna then just tapped double aces here, pocket aces, you can call it, 2, 3. That's not as popular a strategy as it used to be. The pocket aces became trendy a couple years ago, and now I think people are realizing that's a little risky. You don't want to take too much pitching too early. Look at Garrett Cole, what happened there. That's a good example. So again, I like to have at least 1, but I don't really feel like I'm going to take 2 starting pitchers in the first 5 rounds typically. Depends on the format, though. It always depends. Always depends. But you're usually safe for anchoring your team on offense than on pitching, typically. All right, so then we get Altuve. Vlad would have been a good pick for me coming up. Okay, so I got a first baseman. I got an outfielder. I could look at pitcher here. And Anthony, what's up, Anthony? Hopefully that thing's working out for you. He's messing around with the rankings and stuff. Michael Harris. Okay, time to take a look here. So Corey Seager should be ready opening day. Made a spring debut. He's good to go. There goes Kirby. Okay, the top pitchers right now left for me. And I got 1 minute to talk this out. I could go Pablo Lopez or Yamamoto. If I take a batter, it's probably going to be Seager. I'm going to take a chance if one of those pitchers doesn't come back to me next round. Will Yamamoto, or you know what? Webb might still be there. Okay. I'm going to take Seager. Yeah, I'm going to take Seager here. He's healthy, no questions. Some people are going to go with the upside of a guy like Ellie De La Cruz. You know, I've been saying it's a little too early. Round 3 is just a little too early for me. Same thing, CJ Abrams. I like CJ Abrams. I just don't like round 3. Gunnar Henderson was my other consideration. Totally solid there. All right, there goes Pablo. I'd be very curious to see if Yamamoto falls at all based on the one start. You can ask me, am I concerned? I've been all over Yamamoto. You talk about, the last video I put out where it says starting pitchers, I can't stop drafting. He was the first one I talked about. Am I going to keep drafting him here? We'll see. But I'll be curious to see if he falls, because you see his ADP is 34. Right now we're pick 37. Let's see if he falls. Glasnow has now been ranked over him, which I think is interesting too. Glasnow was solid in his debut, not amazing, but good. All right, there goes Scooball. Went over those Dodgers pitchers. Got 3 shortstops, 3 potential stud shortstops, all available, and I just took a shortstop. Now, I could take Ellie and put him at third base, but, I'm probably not going to do that. All right, there goes Logan Webb. And DJ Abrams. So you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Yamamoto, I am not worried. Get that first shaky start out of your system. He's my ace. Look. First game, not just first game as a major league pitcher in the regular season. It's just a weird situation there. The Seoul series, out of the country, just weird circumstance. I'm not going to put anything much into it. All right. I think he'll be fine. All right. Pretty happy so far. I can't lie. Got a stud, corner infielder, mid infielder, outfielder, and an ace. Talked about waiting for my next pitcher. Again, these guys all very solid, but I think I want to stack up on offense too. So I love me some Grayson Rodriguez. Nolan Jones, by the way, anybody asking, was helped off the field with a knee injury, and you think the worst when you hear that, but apparently he's going to be fine for opening day. It wasn't like he tore an ACL. Apparently he just fouled the ball off his knee and was in pain, but I don't think we have to panic there. So nothing to worry about. All right, let's put the board back up here. First 4 rounds, you can see how it's broken down. As far as pitchers, you can see in the orange is the pitchers. Some teams just not drafting pitching yet. For example, the team right after me at the 9 doesn't have a pitcher yet. Let's see right here if Chris has a pitcher in his queue. He does. Kevin Gausman. Look, Gausman took a little bit of dip because he's not ready to be the opening day starter, but it doesn't sound like he's really going to miss a lot of time, if any real actual time, significant time. So I still think that's solid right there. I have Gausman over Nola. All right, now Team 1 is all over the pitching. Team 1 in the first 5 rounds has 3 pitchers, and the first to take a reliever, that's Edwin Diaz. If you guys saw the video I just did on closers, the only closers I trust and I'm drafting, Edwin Diaz, the headliner. I'm drafting Edwin Diaz like he's the #1 closer in the game. Could be hater. I mean, whatever. Doesn't matter technically. I like Diaz. I'm totally fine with him in round 5. But this will be interesting with this this build. 2 starters and a closer, got a catcher, got an outfielder. So this team is going to have to make up some ground on infield later, which you can do in a 12-team league. Not hard. Now, this is not a deep league, by the way. We don't have a corner infield and a middle infield in your starting lineup. So you just need 1 at each position, right? Catcher, first, second, third, short, 3 outfielders. We have 2 utility/DH spots. So you got some flexibility. Again, didn't want to make this hardcore because that's not the point of this league. Trying to bring some more people into fantasy baseball. I want more people to play fantasy baseball. Our fantasy football channel is huge, and we have a lot of people into that. Fantasy baseball still getting there. I think some people who play fantasy football are kind of intimidated by the length of the season of baseball, intimidated by the stats. Just feel like they don't know enough to do it. It's not that complicated. You can do it. You can do it. So I'm trying to show everybody that it's really not that bad. All right. Well, I just got some comments here. Gordo, been balling. Starting draft with Witt and Ellie. She's looking for power to average after. I don't want to simplify it too much that way, because Witt and Ellie Ellie for sure should get you at least 20 plus home runs, and Witt too. You're not really sacrificing power, with a guy like that, or either of those guys, I should say. Average with Ellie a little bit. Yeah, I would definitely be looking for some average help if I'm taking Ellie. That's the reason I don't have him as first 3-round type of value. Because I don't see him hitting over 250. Maybe in the 250s, that's like his ceiling. So yeah, you definitely want to compensate, but I don't think he's a batting average sink either. So that is a good theory, though. Look, I've always been a build up the middle guy. I like getting those elites and shortstops, which is why I take Albies early. So, all right, I'm up. Let's see what we got here. Peralta, Horner, Glasnow, Schwarber, Hader, Matt McLean just got taken. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that. I'll have some convo with Chris about that. But anyways, let's see. Jazz. That's my boy. Jazz is my boy. I'm surprised to see him ranked this highly, to be honest. Man, this is fine for me. I look, this is a free league, and that gets me speed. This is kind of like what we were just talking about with the Gordo's question. Jazz is very similar to Ellie, right? This guy who gets you power and speed, but he's not going to hit you anywhere close to 300. But I got Corey Seager, who's not really getting you steals, but he's going to hit, for a very high average. I'll say that. So I'm okay with that trade-off, and I don't really have to worry about steals going forward. So I can take an outfielder who's either more of a high floor kind of average player, which I will take later, like a Yoshida kind of play. But yeah, Grayson Rodriguez. Look, that was what I was thinking. Grayson Rodriguez. I love Grayson Rodriguez, but do I really have to have him in every draft? I don't have him in every draft, but yeah, I think I can wait. I took Jazz because he was there. So there we go. I do probably need to take another pitcher at some point. So let's see. Bobby Miller, Mike Trout. Look, if he had fallen, I have not taken Mike Trout anywhere. I talked about Trout a little bit in the bust video, and I explained why. It's pretty obvious why. Injuries. If he had fallen to me, I really would have considered him right there. But he's gone. So, and I think that's a pretty good value. Trout and Bobby Miller. Nice pair of picks there. Rasier. Okay. Almost up. I'll get back to the draft board in a second. So let's see what's up. Framber would be a very nice value if I can get him. There goes Gleyber Torres. Assuming he gets taken. I need a second base, a third base. There goes Framber. All right. And I've been talking this whole time. Did Camilo Duvall already get taken? He must have gotten taken. Okay, I don't love any of these closers right here. I could take Logan Gilbert, and I think I'd be fine with that. Eflin is somebody I've been all over. So either Gilbert or Eflin. I can wait on second base. I'll wait on third base. Okay. So Gilbert, Eflin. You know, I got more Eflin already. Let's go Gilbert. Should be solid. I'm really happy with any Mariners starting pitcher, just to be honest. Not going to give away my next pick, but I know I'm targeting a certain category now. All right. So let's talk this now. Tris notices everything. Yeah. All right. Look, so Chris couldn't make the live draft, but he did set his cue. He's been going off. I didn't tell him who to cue or who like. He went with his gut. He probably did not know Matt McLain is having that shoulder injury. So that pick might come back to hurt him, but hey, that's what happens sometimes. But this is a good point. Baseball is more forgiving football because in football, if you have this one stud player out for the season, sometimes like that's it, you're done. It's hard to recover. It really is hard to recover. Your first round pick done. You can't replace, like a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase or Christian McCaffrey. It's really hard to do that. So baseball, it's deeper. Each week means less than football because there's a lot more weeks, but also there's a lot more to it. That's a category. It's true. It is more forgiving. And there's a lot more into it. That's why I like it, because you really have to put more thought into it. So that's what I like. Bruno thinking he likes Jordan over Tatis. Well, look, I love me some Jordan. Trust me. I love the guy. People say, oh, I was on him before anybody. I remember before he made his major league debut, and really nobody kind of knew who he was. I wrote a piece for Rotoballer back when I was their writer and lead editor, hyping him up when he was in the minors, saying this guy could be a stud. So to see him take off, really, I feel like, I don't know what the word is. I don't say pride, but I feel like I knew it before it happened, and I think Jordan is just a stud. But Tatis is getting me steals, and Jordan isn't. And look, here's the thing. They both had their injuries, but Jordan, it's been a little bit more persistent, right? I feel like Tatis should be good this year. So it's the steals, but it's also Jordan always misses some games, doesn't he? I mean, it's true. So I think the injury risk there kind of offsets. I do have thoughts. What's up, Aaron? Thoughts on Langford or Evan Carter? My thoughts are I want both. I really do. Do I like one better than the other? Langford now seems like he's getting more hype because, of course, being the number one prospect. Well, Carter is a top 10 prospect too. I like them both. I'll be happy to get either or both. I'm taking more Carter because I feel like Langford is getting more hype and his ADP has risen more than Carter's has. I have a ton of Carter at best ball. I was taking him when he was still outside top 90, top 100 picks even. And now you can't get him, after pick 60, it seems like. So, yeah, I'm all over Evan Carter and Langford. If I can get him, I will. I missed him in yesterday's draft I did, but that was a deep draft. It was a keeper league draft too. So I knew I should have known I wasn't going to get him if I waited. I took somebody else. I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, my thoughts are love them both. And they're both going to be in the lineup, I think, pretty much every day. Yeah, Tucker Tatis, that is really close too. It's very similar. I just feel like Tatis has that upside that to hit more home run. We know he can hit more home runs than Tucker because he has. To steal more than Tucker, same thing. Batting average, yeah, I'll give the edge to Tucker. But I just feel like Tatis really could be the top player in fantasy if it's not Acuna. And if it is Acuna, I feel like Tatis could be number 2. So All right, I'm almost up again. So there you go. Talk about a guy, he gets taken. There goes White Langford. I feel like that's a reasonable spot for him in 7th. Okay, I see it now. I see Crazy Carl over there. You took Grayson Rodriguez and Camilo Duvall. I see someone's been watching the My Guys video. You took. All right, guys, I'm not really taking. You took him earlier than I would have taken. So who knows? Bibby, that's not. Okay, there goes Iglesias. Thank you, Anthony. I was gonna take him probably. All right. I am next. So got 2 starting pitchers. I'll just go ahead and spill it and just say I'm looking for one of those top relievers if I can get him. I don't feel like there is one of those guys I really, really want right now. I think I can wait around to get one of these guys. I can't wait too long. Y'all know there's only so many starting pitchers I like in this range, but there's only so many closers I'm willing to take, period. Blake Snell just signed. That's interesting. Go with the homer pick, Luzardo. I love Cole Reagans, but I'm not here. I am going to take... my boy Tristan Casas is there, but I already got a first baseman. I'm going to take a guy I've been taking a lot more. Like, I kind of can't stop drafting Xander Bogaerts. I feel like he keeps going under the radar, which is crazy. And I already have a shortstop, but Xander Bogaerts, it's not a shortstop. He's a second baseman this year. It's just going to take a week or two for him to qualify there. He's the starting second baseman for the Padres, and Ha-Seong Kim is a starting shortstop. They just flip-flop because it's more, I guess Kim is just a better defender. That's his natural position. Bogaerts is doing fine at second base. There goes Cole Reagans. All right. I should have known Reagans wouldn't have been there. Okay. Can't get them all. Now, also, I'll say this. There's no corner infield spot, and there's no middle infield spot. I don't mind taking a guy with a huge upside of, let's say, Tristan Casas, because I can slot him at one of those DH spots. So I'll consider it. All right, 2 more picks till mine. Oh, man, here go all the closers. See, this is what happens. I kind of gave away my plan. There's 3 closers in a row. Sewald, Phillips, Munoz, Realmuto. All right. I just take Alexi Diaz here. I would have been all over Joan Duran by now, but of course he's starting the season on the DL and IL, and so is Romano. So let's just take Diaz. Y'all are taking too many closers too soon. Making me worried. Still some good starting pitchers left here. Luzardo and Cease in San Diego. He's a little more interesting to me now that he's in San Diego. I know he still walks a ton of guys, but he still strikes out a ton of guys too. And I think his ERA will be helped by not only being on a less bad team, but that park factor. So I'm a little more in on Cease now. I'm not out on him, I guess you could say that. And King, I like Michael King, but I think I can still wait on my starting pitchers. All right, back to the draft board. Here it is. Kind of check out who's been going where. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Just say, look, 2 of the toughest leagues I'm in are DOB, Disciples of Base. We'll see. Those are the leagues, and they're not paid leagues. It's not because of the money. It's because of the competition. And that's what I hope we're creating here, is just good competition, but also not intimidating. All right, so now we got a lot of pitchers. It's really pitcher heavy in the middle here. If we notice, round 6, 7, and 8 so far, every pick besides 1 has been a pitcher. This is where you get the value, got into those second-tier closers. I talked about this again. If you didn't watch that, closers, the only closers I'm willing to draft. These are my tier 2 guys, not the elite, but still rock solid. You know they've got their job. They're probably not losing their job, and you're still comfortable taking. Like Diaz is probably the last of those guys that was left. I'm fine taking him. Sewald was one of those guys, and Evan Phillips. Look, more pitching. There you go. Luzardo, Cease, all very solid values there. Yeah, I would have liked to get Doval in round 6. Didn't happen. And I probably would have taken Iglesias in round 7. Didn't happen. But that's okay. Still got a closer. Now, some people will ask, how long do you wait till you get your next closer? This is a 12-team league. If you think about it, I mean, you should be able to get at least 2, if you want to say surefire closers, meaning guys who have the job and aren't just in a committee, right? You should be able to get 2 of those guys. How soon am I willing to take who I feel might be one of those 2 guys? I don't want to look at that really till at least, I'd say, around 11 or 12. So I'm not even going to look at relief pitcher again, since I don't have holds in this league. I can still get some saves through the waiver wire. And also, this is not a roto league. So I don't feel like I'm worried about having to play catch up throughout the season and keep up with the saves as much. But I still want some saves. I'm not punting saves. I don't punt, basically. I don't. I did sort of punt steals in a league I did yesterday. It's also a weekly head-to-head league, but not intentionally. That's just kind of the way it turned out. So I said, you know what? Forget it. Why take one guy who might get me a steal here and there? I think if there is a category in a weekly league you can punt, it would be steals or saves. But typically I don't ever go into it or even go through a draft and say, oh, I'm just going to punt this category. I just don't do that. All right, I'm not going to tell you all what I'm thinking. I will tell you what I have so far. I got Bryce Harper at first. I got Bogarts at second, Seager at short, Tatis and Jazz at the outfield. So pretty happy with my offense. Pretty good balance. I definitely have some speed with Tatis and Jazz. I got power definitely with Bryce and pretty much everybody. Average. Bogarts with the average and Seager also. That will kind of balance out Jazz. So feeling pretty good about the offense. Pitching is not deep yet, but again, it's all about value. So let's see who's available. A lot of pitchers flying off the board. I don't know if there'll be a starting pitcher left run I pick right now that I love. So let's see. All right. So Aaron's asking, do I plan on only having 2 closers? Yeah, I don't get that. Okay, well, look, I get the philosophy, and especially it depends what kind of league you're in. Some people are in, like, let's say, a saves and holds leagues, and I don't mean saves, hold plus holds. I mean you have saves and hold as separate categories. And there's I'll just tell you the draft I did yesterday is with a guy JB who I know from Rotoballer and been in one of his leagues. I'm glad I got to be invited into one of his home leagues. Super competitive. Besides the DOB leagues, it's probably my most competitive league. It's an 18-team league. It has OBP instead of average. It has saves and it has holds. And for offense, it uses doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs, runs. There's extra categories. It's a deep league. And so he's got this philosophy, and he always used to write, he used to edit this article called Franken Aces. He'll patch together the stats of a starting pitcher with like 3 good relief pitchers. And I don't mean closers. I mean just guys who are like middle relievers, setup guys who can get you holds, which count in that league, but get you low ratios, and you add together 60 strikeouts here, 60 strikeouts there, 60 strikeouts from the third guy. And they basically make up a starting pitcher, but without the risk. And it works. So I am okay with taking a middle reliever who isn't getting me saves, but especially if it's a setup guy who could be in line for saves. And I'll probably take a guy like that eventually, just not yet. All right, I'm up. By the way, just do we notice the pitcher run again? Okay. Casas is still on the board. I am super tempted. I like Torkelson, but I already have a first baseman. Marte's solid, but I already have a second baseman. Ooh, Josh Young at third is maybe which way I'm going. Quickly look at the starting pitchers before I run out of time. I don't love any of these starting pitchers here. So, Casas or Young. I got to take the position I need. I go with Young because I like him a lot. Pick 104. Great value. And he's also a guy I'm not as worried about. We thought maybe he would start the season on the IL. Doesn't look like he is. In fact, just make sure. Gets first spring ABs. Made his spring debut. He was a calf. Seems like it'll be fine. Yeah, there goes Casas. You're welcome. I think I can believe Casas 105. That's crazy. But again, I don't feel too guilty not taking him because I already have him already so many leagues, so it's okay. Let me tell you why I didn't take a starting pitcher there, even though now you look, I have, and again, Bogart slots in here. Besides a catcher, which I know I don't need to take a catcher early in this format, I got my entire infield except for catcher, and 2 of my 3 outfielders already filled in. I only got 3 pitchers. Well, look, I'm not taking Chris Sale yet. Michael King I like, but I feel like I can wait. Sonny Gray, obviously hurt. Chris Bassett doesn't do a formation. Bieber I don't trust. I like Ober. I love Green, but I feel like I could wait on those guys. So I'm going to wait on those guys. Let's see, is there a catcher I love here? Nope. Nope. I can wait. I'll wait, take one of my sleepers. Some of you already know who my favorite sleeper is. Still some good outfield value too, but I can wait. And I'm not queuing anybody up because y'all just take them. Let's look at those relievers who are there. Still some tier 3 guys. Fairbanks. I mean, good, so good, but so always hurt. Jansen doesn't do it for me. Kimbrel is fine. He's the guy I might fall back on. Tanner Scott. I like Jose Alvarado. He's ranked a little lower here. But again, I got my pick here. I don't think I need to pull the trigger just yet. So, do I take a catcher? I'm up next. Nope. Do I take the best hitter available? Nope. All right. 113. I will take Michael King. Will I? Yes. We'll take Michael King, and then I'll wait for one of my other guys afterwards. All right. So now we got 3, and then it's funny, Michael King slots at relief pitcher right now, because remember he was a reliever last year for the most part till the end of the season. All right. Bruno wants to know thoughts on Brian Hayes. I like Hayes better, slightly better in a non-traditional league, non-roto. He's not going to get you that many home runs. He'll get you some steals, but not enough to make him that interesting. I like him a little better in a points league, but he's not like a guy who walks a ton. My thought on Hayes is like he's fine. He's not as exciting. Honestly, his offensive upside isn't as high as we'd want it to be for fantasy. A lot of people weren't even on him at all as a prospect because it looked like he was just glove first and that's it. The guy who could hit for average, but didn't think he had any power. And so he kind of surprised with his power, especially when he first got called up. But then he hasn't really kicked up to the next gear. And the question is, does he even have another gear? I'm not sure if he does. So I think Hayes is okay, but I wouldn't expect too much out of him for fantasy purposes. Kind of more of a better real life than fantasy player, but not a star. I guess is the best way to put it. All right. Let me get that draft board back up here. All right. So after I went King, there goes Gray, Bassett, Fairbanks. Should point out there goes Jackson Churio. The rookie got taken. How soon will these rookies go? Well, you see Langford a full 3 rounds before Churio. It's interesting. I mean, Langford's been on fire this spring, so that's not too surprising. Of course, he's on the Rangers, Churio's on the Brewers. So there's a difference there. Langford just seems pro ready. Churio, we know, is ready to compete. Just don't know what he's going to give us in terms of overall counting stats, right? How many home runs is he going to hit as a 20-year-old? Is he going to be a base stealer? That's what you got to wonder too. Now, Langford is not really a base stealer. These guys can get you double digits, but I'll be curious to see how he's used in those situations. I don't feel like Churio is like just a 2020 guy this year. I mean, eventually, sure, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. There's Jordan Walker, guy I like. Yep, there you go. All right, so we're now into round 10. Almost rounding out round 10. All right. I'm gonna start looking. I'm not queuing people up because it's just gonna come back to bite me. But I also want to be transparent. Look, the point of this league isn't just for me to pull out a win. It's for me to draft with you guys, and also the whole point of this channel is to try to help. Right. So this is how I draft. This is what I'm thinking right now. What am I thinking right now? Thinking after 10 rounds. I love my offense. Loaded with high upside. I can still wait on catcher. I'm going to get one of my late round catchers that I like. You might know who that is. I do feel like I need to go pitching here. Do I feel like I need a closer? No. But if I have a good closer available, I'm going to take him. What the hell? I'll just go out and say it. If Kimbrel is there, probably take him. Alvarado, I'm actually fine with 2. And then Tanner Scott. That's my order. So I might go one of those guys next. Starting pitchers, I absolutely love Hunter Green. I'll probably have way too much of him. So I might have to take Hunter Green just so nobody else does. So I'll put him next on my list. And Ober is a nice sleeper. I know everyone's kind of all over Ober. I don't feel like he's a Cy Young candidate. Some people are getting a little carried away with Ober. I think he's solid. But he might be my next pick. But yeah, I think I might have to take Hunter Green just because he's my boy. He's one of my guys who I just have to. I'm drafting him. Somebody asked a really good question the other day on the live stream. I think it was last week. Somebody asked, who's a player that you're reaching for? Because we don't want to admit when you reach a player, I'm supposed to not reach, right? I'm supposed to be the one who only gets the value picks. I'm supposed to, always take who's there. There's always a player or two that you want to make sure you have, and you don't care. You don't want to risk it. And I said Hunter Green, and as far as pitchers, he's the guy I've been reaching for. And I don't feel like it's really much of a reach here. We're in the 120s. My next pick, I'm 128. His ADP is like 134. So yeah, I'm okay with that. But we'll see. Let's see what happens. All right, more pitchers flying off the board here. And just for context, just want to show, you see the round 1, of course, only 1 pitcher taken. We knew that was going to happen. Round 2, only 2 pitchers taken. Round 3, 3 pitchers taken. And then it just keeps climbing. And then look at that, by round 8, we had 8 pitchers taken. It's a little more balanced now, but yeah, this is where the pitching value, this is just how the market is, right? No one wants to invest early on a pitcher for obvious reasons. Okay, 3 more picks. Already kind of gave away my plan. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I like a guy till everybody else likes a guy, and then you gotta have to back off. Not like you can take him, but when the draft price is not reasonable for what you expect, yeah, I don't know why. I know there's reasons why everyone likes Over, but it's just funny how a guy on a small market team like Minnesota, who's never really done much and wasn't a high prospect, now all of a sudden is just everybody's kind of favorite sleeper. Okay, Brian, with some good questions. Let me get my pick in because it's almost my turn, and I'll answer that. Tyler, that's one of my guys. I probably wasn't going to take my 3rd outfielder yet anyways, but yeah, Riley Green. Man, I can't get enough of him either. Just took him yesterday, in fact, in my other draft. All right, I'm next. Well, looks like I may get my guy. Ober still on the board. There's still a lot of good pitchers that I like that are available much later. And again, you know, kind of know who they are. If you watch any of the videos, look, so much good value down here. But there we go. Thank you for not sniping me here. I'm doing it. I'm taking my guy. Which means I'm not taking over because on the way back, I'll just tell you right now, I'll take a closer. I should be able to get one of these three guys, but we'll see. I feel like Kimbrel is still solid. I mean, what has he done to prove otherwise? He's just keeps doing it year in, year out. He's on a great team now. If anything, I feel better about him this year than I did last year because, you know, Philly had a couple of guys. They had, I think, 4 different relievers with closing experience. And you figured Kimbrel would be the main one, but you just didn't know. And they mix and match a little bit. I don't think the Orioles are going to do that. I mean, I don't think they can afford to. They don't really have anybody else. Now with Bautista out for the year, Cano is good, but not closer in waiting type. You know, his year last year kind of came out of nowhere. So Kimbrel, I feel like, will be even better this season, if anything. Kendra Scott was great the second half last year. I can't say I don't have any trust issues with him, though. There's a little bit issues, but I do feel, talking about that Philly situation, I feel much better about Alvarado this year with Kimbrel out. And they didn't really do anything to replace him. And Kerkering, who is one of my like dark horse kind of sleeper candidates at closer, he's been not hurt. He's sick. He's like the flu has lasted like 2 weeks or something. He's got something going on. He's going to be in the IL to start the season. It's not an injury, so I'm not worried about him. But Alvarado is going to just soak up all the saves there, and that's a good team. So I'm probably putting him in that order: Kimbrel, Alvarado, Scott right now. Scott doesn't really have competition because Puck is now in the rotation. Puck is also a guy that I really like and might take late again. All right, well, there goes Scott. There goes Teoscar. Okay, so now I know at least I'll get one of these two guys. I do have Alvarado in a couple of spaces. Teams. Okay, well, there we go. I just finished. I was about to just say, I don't really have Kimbrel yet, but I guess I still don't have Kimbrel. Let's take Alvarado then. I already have Alvarado in a couple leagues. I'll just take him again. After that, if you look at the relief landscape here, it's very questionable. Like, are any of these guys what you consider sure closers? Like Leclerc is what, him or Robertson? Lang, I guess, is the guy right now if he doesn't lose the job. Suarez, probably. Harvey and Finnegan. I don't know why Harvey's climbing up. I actually like Finnegan better. Jax is interesting because he's going to be the closer while Duran is out, but Duran's not going to be out all season. So that was kind of the last of those 3 closers I just talked about, where I feel like tier 3, like I feel solid drafting them. And I did. So now I got 2 closers here with Diaz and Alvarado. And now I'm definitely going to wait on a relief pitcher. And I'm probably going to focus back on offense. And then I'll go back to pitching later because I got 1, 2, 3, 4 pitchers I really like as starting pitcher. Who are the starting pitchers available here? Yu Darvish. Okay. He's not what he used to be. He's still solid. I mean, nothing wrong with him. Javier, Rodon, I don't want any part of those guys. Verlander, you know I'm not drafting. Do like a couple of these guys, but I can wait. I mean, they're still going to be there for me. All right, let's throw up the board again. So here you go. There goes Yu Darvish. Marcelo Ozuna, great value there. Christian Encarnacion Strand, loving him. Nice picks here. Yep. Imanaga is definitely one of those guys. It's definitely one of those guys I like. But let's see. Look, I might take Imanaga. We'll see if he's there. Oh, let me get back to this. Sorry, Brian. Okay, so what do we think about Morello from the Cubs and Torkelson from the Tigers? I like Torkelson. I think he's probably not gonna be overdrafted anywhere. I don't think being on the Tigers and kind of having disappointed up until the second half of last year, really not getting a lot of hype. So I like Torkelson. If you're waiting on first base, I mean, the guy realistically could slug 40 home runs this year. He's not going to have an elite average, but if you think about it, does Pete Alonso give you elite batting average? No. I like Torkelson as a late first round for sure. First base, sorry. Morel is it's hard to pin down because with Morel, he's got the tools, right? He's a toolsy guy. He's got power. He's also not necessarily going to help you with average. I just don't know. I mean, they've been trying him at third base, and his defense has not exactly worked out. I don't know if he's going to stick there. At the worst case, I think he's like a super utility guy again. I like Morel, but I feel like he gets a little bit of undue hype. Let's just put it that way. I think he's fine, but I don't know if I really feel good starting him every single day, at any position. I like him better in DFS and best ball. Let's put it that way. Oh, there goes Imanaga. No chance. Man, Volpe, so undervalued. Volpe, it's going to be a stud. Now I almost regret not taking Volpe. I mean, I already have Corey Seager, but still. Value there. All right. Let's see what we got. Catcher. Nope. I can still wait. What else do I not have? Remember, I got Bogarts here at second. I could take my third outfielder. I mean, Morel is there. I do like other guys a little bit better. Actually, I might. Hold on. Let's see who else is there. Yeah, I can wait on starting pitcher. I'm going to go ahead and take a guy I like, Jarren Duran. It's about where you get taken. He's going to get you some steals. He will help you with batting average. I think he's going to be a very solid overall player. If you look last year, basically half a season's worth of at-bats, maybe a little bit more, stole 24 bases, 40 RBIs, hit 295, and he had some injury problems last year, and he started out slow. He's an everyday player this year. I think a lot of upside there. All right. There goes Arias. Arias always so solid, this, but man, how excited can I get about a guy who I know will be single digits for home runs and stolen bases? I don't know if I'm going to get a one category type of player, like a one-trick pony. I'd rather just look who's still right there. Esteury Ruiz. Maybe can steal 50-plus bases, 60-plus bases again, maybe. I don't know. But that gives me a bigger advantage, I think. But anyways, nice picks here. Racine, I like that. Fott and James MacArthur, definitely a guy I like. If I'm looking for a reliever with upside. Will he be the closer or a closer in Kansas City? Well, we're not sure yet, but I like him. I know that. All right, still need a catcher. Sal Perez, pretty solid there. I like Cal Raleigh. But I still feel like there's so many good choices here. I'm just going to keep waiting. Okay. So this is where we balance the risk and reward. Berrios, I should say. You know what you're getting with him, solid. I'm typically taking a guy like Hunter Brown. I feel like has better upside, better risk. But this is a quality starts league. And look, Berrios, 15 last year. I think in this format, I'm okay, especially because I did take some risk on with Hunter Green. I can't say there's no risk with him. To some extent, maybe you can say guys like King and Yamamoto aren't really proven as starters in the majors. I'm just going to go boring. I'll go Berrios. It's not always about the the prospects, the upside. Sometimes it's just about guys who can accumulate stats. All right, good question here. Christian Hernandez, why not filter by ADP? Now, ADP is a little weird sometimes because look at your ADP here. Garrett Cole, 55. I'm not taking Garrett Cole anywhere near 55. In fact, nobody's taking Garrett Cole yet, which I'm almost surprised at because ADP is, as far as the way they do it, as far as I know, it's throughout the draft season. This isn't ADP from the last week. So Garrett Cole is 55. He's showing up first in ADP. Walker Buehler, Justin Verlander, could I sing it? Your first 5 guys here for ADP are pitchers that I am not drafting because they're all hurt or Jordan Montgomery hasn't signed. Okay, so for me, the ADP doesn't really help. That's why. ADP is what other people think. I don't care what other people think because that's exactly how you draft wrong, is by filtering based on what other people are doing. If I don't know any better, then sure, I can use ADP as a guide, but it's going to get you into trouble, I think, more often than not. And I feel like I think I probably can do a little better than the crowd. So Devin Williams, number 2 ADP. You don't need to be drafting Devin Williams, and I think you know why. So that's the problem with ADP on this platform. Now, if you're like an NFBC league or somewhere else where you can filter ADP just by the past day, 2 days, week, or whatever, then that's fine. Rank is weird because it shows rank based on last season's stats, and that's also misleading. So I think the best default here is the X rank, which is Yahoo's fantasy experts telling you where you should be drafting them. Now, I'm not drafting them just based on that, but at least this gives me the best idea of what to look for. But again, and Anthony knows this, we just talked about this, I'm looking at my rankings on the side here. I already know who I like and who I don't like. All right, got a question here also. Steer, Adolis, and Hunter Green, or Tatis and Harvey? Wow, interesting. Okay, so you get an offer already. You got a trade. It's 3 for 2. Man, I love Tatis. That is, I don't know if Harvey is enough to really balance out the other side. All right, let me put the draft board up again while I'm talking so y'all can see who's going on. JD Martinez just got taken. Of course, he's a Met now. There goes Ruiz and his steals. Okay. Man, as much as I'm big on Tatis, I don't feel like I would take the Tatis side just because Harvey, to me, is not worth much. So I would take the other side because I'm huge on Hunter Green. Adolis is solid, and Steer is also solid. They can make up those stats. I would take the 3 over the 2. I hope so too, Chris. That's exactly right. Hopefully, a lot of people came over from our fantasy football channel and could see baseball. If you like dissecting the stats and the situations and all the positions, this is strategy. That's what it's all about. If you like fantasy, you should like strategizing. You should love the drafting and the waiver moves. There's just so much more to it. It's like fantasy football times 2. So if you want it to be easy and simple and just root for your guys to score touchdowns, okay, fine. That's fine. Stick with fantasy football. But man, for me, baseball's always been where it's at. But this was the first sport I ever watched, first sport I loved. So that's just my thinking. All right, Ezekiel Tovar just got taken. He just signed a massive contract extension. It's very interesting. I don't know why they're putting so much into him already. I mean, I know he's a good player, but it just seemed unnecessary, I guess. I don't know why they did that. It's just weird timing too. Who knows? I don't get too much into the business side of baseball, to be honest. I try not to. Now, I don't think it's a bad trade, Christian. I mean, getting Tatis is... I mean, I can't hate having one of the elite players in baseball. Yeah, I don't know. Finnegan could lose the job. I actually like Finnegan a little bit better than Harvey, but we'll see. No, I mean, if Tatis does what I think he'll do this year, maybe it's not an overpay. So I don't think it's a bad trade, if you ask me. But maybe I'm too high on Hunter Green. Maybe I'm overpaying for him. I'm overdrafting him, clearly. I'm drafting him everywhere. So we'll see. Time will tell. All right, I'm almost up. Anthony's up right now. Do I finally pull the trigger on catcher? I can go either direction. I have one pitching spot left. I have one utility spot left. And actually, I have two utility spots left because, again, Bogart's my second baseman. I can go catcher. I can go pitcher. I can go any direction, really. Let's see who's been taken lately. There we go. All right, Morel is off the board. Don't have to think about him. I'm going to take a guy I feel is undervalued, and I like at this stage the positional flexibility. I like Tyro Estrada, was on fire last year, and then he got hurt, kind of disrupted his season. Still finished with solid numbers, but I like that I can slot him both second and short. If Seager gets hurt, which he always seems to do, easy replacement there. So there you go. Easy. Might finally be time to get a catcher. I still got so many good choices left. Now, if you want just power, let me just filter by catcher so you can see here. You want a guy who can just get you home runs. Yeah, Raleigh for sure. Francisco Alvarez, but they're going to hurt you in average. Gabriel Moreno is interesting because he, and to some extent Ruiz, I like Ruiz a lot. They can help you with average. They just don't have as much power. So it's like, what are you going to pick? Wilson Contreras is kind of the in-between, right? Best of both worlds. 20-plus home runs, probably 250, 60s average, so not really high or low. He's kind of your middle ground there. So I kind of just have to look at what I like, or I can just continue to wait and take my favorite sleeper. Well, I know some of you already know who that is. But do I already have too many Padres is the question. I don't think so. So let me go back and look. Let me check the draft board. Who already has a catcher? Okay, team one has Rushman. They're probably not going to take another. Chris just took Sal Perez. He's not going to get one yet. Team three does not. This team has William Contreras. Ooh, okay, there's two other teams that don't have a catcher. Okay. And then Jeremy's team does not. So we still got like 5 teams without a catcher. That doesn't mean I feel like I have to, because there's 5 catchers I'm totally happy taking here. All right, let's look at pitchers. Ooh, there's Kyle Harrison. Nice pick. One of my favorite sleepers is still out there. 2 of them, actually. I think I'm going to have to take one. I need another pitcher anyways. I am probably going to go back to reliever soon, but not yet. Actually, there's 3. There's 3 pitchers I'll be happy with here. All right. Let's wait, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. See what Jeremy does here. I'm still, by the way, what are we in? Round 16. Garrett Cole's still on the board. I'm still not taking him. But where is the point where somebody takes him? Man, we're in the 180s now. I'm really surprised nobody has. But look, candidate for the 60-day IL. Yeah, not good. All right, there goes a catcher. All right. I like Pepio. I just took him last night in a different draft. Bryce Miller, I've taken a lot, especially on underdog. And Cutter Crawford. It's a very interesting pick here. I think I can wait on Crawford. I'm just going to go all in again on Bryce Miller. I just can't stop drafting him. Apparently. What is up? Vancouver in the house. Yeah, talk about catcher. Now, this is another one Garver, I like Garver a lot. I might wind up with him. The guy, yeah, he's always hurt, and you're saying he's like the Tyler Glass now of catchers. That's pretty fair, right? Always always get something going on, but he's not catching anymore. He's just going to be DH, and you're right. He's probably going to hit cleanup, and the dude has power, legit power, and he's not going to hurt you in batting average either. So I am totally fine with Garver. This is why I'm waiting on catcher. There's so many catchers I'm totally happy with still. I don't think I even need to draft a catcher anytime soon. But Garver is definitely one of my favorite late catchers to take. Yeah, Christian, I think you're onto something. I'm not going to throw that up because that might be my next pick. But we'll see. I'm okay with Brian Hayes as my starting third baseman. I feel like you're asking me for a reason. Again, maybe you have him. I would rather not have him as my starting third baseman. If you're in a 12-team league, like I know I say third base is kind of shallow, but you could probably do better. He's not the worst. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him, but you're not getting that upside. Okay, well, there goes that plan. You mentioned Mason Miller. Someone just took Mason Miller. All right, so no more Miller. I took the wrong Miller. No, I love Bryce Miller. I'm totally fine with Bryce Miller. And hey, I did just say not too long ago, I'm probably just best avoiding Oakland pitching in general, just period. I love Mason Miller, but are they really going to use him the right way? All right, so no Mason Miller for me. I do feel like I should take another high-end reliever. Now, again, I didn't say closer. I said high-end reliever, a guy who could be a setup man who maybe eventually falls into some saves or just helps me out with the ratios and Ks. So I'll look at reliever pretty soon. I still can win catcher. I could take any sort of bat at utility. Tyler O'Neill, very nice right there. Very nice late-round pick there. I'm not fading Pepio, by the way. Like I said, I just took him yesterday in my other draft, which was a keeper league. So I like Pepio, but I just like Miller more. There you go. Team 4, just taking exactly what I was talking about. Jason Adam in Tampa. Not the closer, but when or if Pete Fairbanks gets hurt, he'll be next in line. He's going to help you out in ratios and strikeouts before then. So that's exactly the type of player I'm talking about. Nice pick. Again, Miller and Adam, even if those guys don't get you a ton of saves, they can still help you. All right, there goes Garrett Cole, finally. So he was taken at just before pick 200. I feel that's right. That's fine. You can just stash him on the IL. That's all you're doing. You're stashing him for what, 2 months? Maybe 3 months? Who knows? Worth a shot here for the second half of the season, but not worth drafting earlier where you have to start him. Like, not that you would have to start him, but you know what I mean, instead of somebody who you would be starting. All right, let's see what's up. Pepio is still there, but I already have a fair amount of starting pitchers. You know what? I think I know what I'm going to do. Now, I will say this, especially not just if you're drafting, as far as the ADP, I'm going to have to scroll down. Always scroll down and look. I'm scrolling. I still don't see the guy I want. Don't think he got taken. Oh, there he is. Okay, now this is a case where if you look, the rank doesn't reflect. Look at the ADP. Why is Abner Uribe all the way down here? I don't know, but he's the closer until Devin Williams. At least we think he'll be the closer. I'm taking Abner Uribe again. This is the 6th time I've drafted him. And I didn't draft Devin Williams. This is not like a makeup pick or anything. This guy has got some filthy stuff. He could definitely get you strikeouts. And he's going to be solid. He's going to be the closer for 3 months at least. So Uribe all over him. There goes Pepio. Again, I like Pepio. I've taken him a few times, but there's Stanton. All right. All right. I'm all over him. Been drafting him too much, maybe, or maybe not enough. Who knows? And there goes Brian Hayes. All right. You can only talk about him so much before somebody takes him. All right. There we go. Senga. When was Senga going to go? I've talked a lot about him too. This is fair for Senga. I mean, definitely. He's not going to be out as long as Cole Williams, so I think that's good value for him. AJ Puck, a very nice pick there. All right, up next, you know what? Of course, I'm not going to say anything because last time I was about to, I got sniped. All right, there goes Cutter Crawford. I'll go ahead and take Wilson Contreras. No need to wait any longer. Just very solid there. Don't need to take a sleeper catcher anymore. Wilson Contreras outside pick 200. Just kind of surprising too. Yeah, I like Uribe over Payamps. I feel like he's just the better pitcher. Maybe they'll mix and match. I don't know if we really know who the guy's going to be in the ninth inning yet. I don't know if they know. But I'm all over Uribe. He's my guy. I just feel like he's the better pitcher. Uribe over Jax. Yeah, I just took Griffin Jax yesterday in a league. I think that, look, we know Devin Williams is out 3 months minimum. Okay, we're talking half the season. Duran is going to be out maybe longer than the 15 days. Well, let me put the draft board back up. But Duran's not out half the season. His is not a serious injury. So Jax might only be the closer for a couple of weeks. Uribe could be the closer half or maybe all season. So I'm looking at that. But also, I just think he's just better. Took the Ron Contreras. Well, yeah, I guess I would have taken William Contreras if I had picked a catcher like an hour ago. But yeah, I think I'm fine with Wilson. I don't know. Is Neris still available? Let's take a look. That's a nice fallback pick too. Ooh, Anthony, that's a nice pick there. Michael Garcia, guy I had mixed feelings about, but now I think I'm just in. But you're getting steals late at a third base or shortstop if he qualifies there. That's a good pick. Let's see. Neris. Yep, still there. And Neris is also a guy you should be interested in because he could be closer or co-closer or something. I don't know. Council keeps waffling or at least not committing to anything. We could see Alzolay. We could see Neris. We could see Merriweather. We could see all of those guys. I kind of hate falling into a committee, but for a guy that you can get late, super late. Again, even if he doesn't get you 20 or 30 saves, he could still be helpful. So, yeah, in this format, I think Neris might be a nice pick. All right. We are getting there. We're around 19. We're going 23 for this one. So, pitching is full. I got 4 bench spots available. I did get a catcher. I need a DH spot. So, let's go back to hitter. Easier to kind of fill and stream at pitcher than it is to fill at offense. I think it depends, of course, but let's see. At this point, we're just going value. Although I will say this, I do need somebody to start at the DH spot here. So I want a good hitter who is actually going to be playing. Jackson Holiday. All right. Well, that was Chris taking Jackson Holiday. All right. Jackson Holiday, let's go ahead and vent about him not being on the opening day roster. Who wants to go first? Yeah. I don't think it'll be too long. Come on. How long will it be before a Holiday comes up? This is just a typical service time thing, but you got to look long term, right? Long term. Stash him. If you have an NA spot in your leagues, you got to draft at least one high end rookie who is not on a roster. I'll tell you this, the best pickup I made last year was I stashed Ellie De La Cruz early in the season, put him in the NA spot, let him sit there, simmer for a couple of weeks, and then he got the call, and I had him in my lineup. So you can draft those guys and then put them, or an injured player if you do that kind of thing. I don't like to draft injured players typically, but get a rookie, put him in your NA spot, and then you pick up somebody off waivers that you could have drafted with your last pick anyways. Yeah, so don't forget about those rookies who you don't think are going to make an impact until midseason. You can still stash those guys. Got like a Paul Skeens, something like that. All right, let's see. Almost my turn. Brian Bello, good pick there. There's somebody else got their catcher. Okay, let's get back to the player. Jonahheim. All right, catcher's getting taken now. Let's see. Who do I like here? I'll tell you who I like. I like Jaime Candelario. That's pretty easy right here. Pull the trigger. I got Estrada to fill second short. I'm going to go Candelario, who can fill at first and third, but I just like him anyways. Talked about him early in the preseason. He's going to be starting every day for the Reds, who have a good lineup, have a great offensive ballpark. Candelario, one of my favorite sleepers. Is someone going to pull the trigger on Byron Buxton, who only qualifies at DH? We'll see. Some good players left. Jung-Hoo Lee still out there. A lot of people don't know what to make of him. Not going to get you much in terms of home runs, but could help you in runs and average for sure. So he might be somebody I take to kind of balance out my lineup. Rizzo is still there. Rizzo listed day-to-day, but says should be ready for opening day. So not really a concern. Yeah, I'll consider him. Here's who else I like, and I might wind up taking again. Here's Will Benson. Starting in center field, that same Reds offense does have speed. With the Friedel injury, yeah, he's definitely going to have a better path to playing time. Oh, there goes Gavin Stone. No Gavin Stone for me. All right, let's see. Still a lot of players I like here, but that's the problem. I get to know too many players. You like too many. All right. 2 picks till my turn. Let me see, what do I need? I really don't need anything. I actually could use another outfielder when I think about it. Huh. Wonder if anybody, including myself, is willing to take a chance on Starling Marte actually being healthy and contributing. And in this format, I really don't need a backup catcher, but look, if I do, Mitch Garver's still there, Ohape's still there, Camposano's the guy I like. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Jeremy's going to take Jonathan India. All right. Super utility player. And then do I pull the trigger on Starling Marte? I think I might have my first share of Marte. I'm taking Lee a lot. Why not? Give me some more speed. Could bounce back. I don't have enough old players. Yeah, why not? All right. 3 picks left. Yeah, I don't know. Barshow's a guy I'm just kind of not too excited about. You know, he was exciting when he was a catcher who could hit home runs and steal bases. Now he's just an outfielder who hits some home runs and steals less than 20 bases. Varsho just doesn't do it for me anymore. Hurts you in batting average. And then let's see, asking what's the take on, I'm guessing you mean Sawinski for Pittsburgh. I like Sawinski. I've taken him a couple times, mainly in underdog, the best ball format, but I like him at, he's not really a batting average sink. He'll be fine. He's steals some bases and he's definitely got power. I wish the run and RBI totals would be higher because playing in Pittsburgh, but yeah, I like Sawinski as like your fourth outfielder. I think he's definitely got some upside. Tim asking who's my catcher. I went with Wilson Contreras. Talked about that. Well, you can see he's right there on the board. Yeah, Wilson Contreras. I still think he's kind of being undervalued. Everyone's talking about William Contreras, rightfully so, but Wilson is a solid value. He's in a pretty good lineup. He's going to get you 20 home runs, but he also is not going to hurt you in batting average. He's kind of a nice in-between there. Like I said, you got some catchers who can help you with average but don't really have power, like Gabriel Moreno. And then you got some catchers who will get you a lot of home runs but hurt you in batting average, like Francisco Alvarez. I think Contreras like the happy medium. Yeah, let's see. Rizzo. I don't know. Everyone's got their guy, right? That bounce back guy. Look at Marte. I think could bounce back. This is the first time I've drafted Marte. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Rizzo could be that guy. I think Rizzo, again, it was just that concussion that threw everything off. He was on his way to another solid year. Let's see. All right, Tommy Edman off the board. See, they're team 4 here. Heliar. This is what I'm talking about. Guys like Presley and Stram, not closers, but could help you out with your numbers on a weekly basis. Stram's definitely a guy there. Oh, there goes Griffin Jacks. Man, Griffin Jacks, man, no, like I said, he might not be the closer long, but that's pretty late for a guy who is going to at least get you some saves. I think this JB in disguise. He's building a kind of a Franken ace, like I talked about earlier. That's what you're doing. That's a smart move. All right. So I need. Is there a category I need? I feel like I'm good on power. I got some speed. Batting average should be fine. Okay, what about pitching? Yamamoto, Gilbert, King, Green. Do I have enough strikeout upside? Yes. Quality starts. Do I have enough quality starts? Gilbert. Green. Yeah. I feel like I want one more starting pitcher, one more reliever. So let's look. 2 more picks till my turn. All right, starting pitchers I like still. Ooh. Not too many. Not too many starting pitchers I like still. Here are all the hurt guys. And what I will not do is stash a guy like DeGrom or Springs and hope they come back in like July, August. It's, to me, it's not worth it. Yeah, there really aren't too many starting pitchers I like. So there's some deep sleeper hitters like Zach Littell. I think he's really interesting. Chase Silseth is somebody who has been good. I don't have enough of him. Let's just take him. There you go. I feel like this is kind of a shallow league to take a guy like Silseth, but Canning in the same rotation. Sheehan, who's hurt. Nobody else here jumps out. So I'm taking a sleeper anyways if I'm not taking him. So there you go. And let's look at reliever here. And Neris is still out there. I have taken him in a couple of leagues already. Don't mind taking him again. But honestly, I might just look at a guy who I know will get me some saves. Oh, nice couple of picks here. All right, so DL Hall, one of my favorite sleepers here. Edouard Julien is a nice pick there. Polanco is very solid value. I think he's going under the radar too. All right, let's see. So the question here is, do I go with like David Robertson, who could be the closer or part-time closer in Texas, on track for setup role? Strong possibility that Jose Leclerc is the closer, but strong chance Leclerc might either get hurt or lose. Yimi Garcia is probably the closer right now, with Jordan Romano and Eric Swanson hurt, but is that going to last? Or do I go with Aroldis Chapman? Oh, I know it's just going to be solid. I think I'm going to go with Chapman. Or, yep, I'm going to go with Chapman. I almost took Gimme, but I'll go with Chapman. All right. Back to the draft board. Ooh, Caminero, nice pick there. I thought I could snatch him with my last pick. My last pick here, I might try to get a minor leaguer who I can stash. Severino, yeah, maybe. I took him once this draft season. I'll take a swing on him. Just a little worried. This actually is a good strategy. Take them both, right? Take Romano if you get the discount, and then take Garcia so you have him in the meanwhile. So that's actually a pretty good strategy. That's also a nice pick. He has not been drafted. I'm not going to throw that up here. Let's see who's available. All right. So apologies. I'll put the draft board back up soon, but let's see. My favorite last round picks are almost in the last round. So who are some guys I'm willing to take? Well, I already have a catcher if it's a deep league. I do like Garver there. Jose Siri gets you power and speed, but batting average is the cost, but something's got to give. Jung-Ho Lee is a very nice value here. But again, he's getting you average, but not maybe too much power. So pick your poison. Will Benson is still there. That might be my pick. I like Will Benson a lot. Vaughn Grissom, I've been taking a lot of. But of course, he's hurt to start the season. Sal Frelick, very nice value here. That might be my pick too. Just go ahead and start queuing some guys up so I don't miss my pick. There goes Jung-Ho Lee. There goes Garver. Parker Meadows, I was about to talk about, but he just got taken. I'm just looking offense here. Henry Davis is pretty much my favorite sleeper. I'm not sure if I'll take him in this league. We'll see. And then there's Jackson Merrill. And then guy who you might have heard just made the opening day roster. Will he be a starter? I don't know, but Ceddanne Rafaela, very intriguing. Should be able to help you definitely with steals. He's got, I guess, more power than I thought he did. I thought he was really more just like a glove. I mean, I know he's a glove prospect for sure. That's what he made his name on. But maybe he has more power than I gave him credit for digging into his minor league numbers. Will he get regular playing time? That's the question. So in a 12-team league, I haven't been drafting him. In a deeper league, I will. Then there's Triss's guy, Nolan Shanuel. I don't know if he's really your guy, but you talked about him. And then there's really Triss's guy, James Wood. James Wood, will he be up soon? Who knows? On Zardo, I have a lot of. And then Garrett Mitchell, I think, is interesting. This is pretty deep for him. Okay, a couple of picks left. Let's see. Okay. So here's McHugh. And I can only take one of these guys. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the guy I haven't taken yet. I have a lot of Henry Davis, especially an underdog. I have Frelick in a couple of leagues. I do have some Benson. I want more. I'm going to go Jackson Merrill just because I don't have him. And look, he's a starting outfielder. He qualifies at shortstop. Right out. All right, last picks. And then I know I just said I was going to take a minor leaguer and stash him. I think I can do this after the draft. There's going to be plenty of guys, so I'll just wait. I'll wait, and I'll take surefire things here. none of these players are sure things, of course, because that's how fantasy works. All right, who's going to be the last pick here? Somebody did take Byron Buxton. Definitely worth a last round pick, I'd say for sure. Let's see what happens there. Good question. Do I have any other drafts left? I think all my big drafts are now done. I will probably just do best ball from here on out because I got a couple days to the season. The weekend is when I typically draft. I think all my big drafts are now done. Yeah, I was going to take Henry Davis, but I have so much Henry Davis already. But I can't believe he didn't get taken. Man, didn't even get taken. I might have to drop somebody for him. And okay. Chris Bryant. I'm sorry. I think I kind of lost interest in Chris Bryant a couple of years ago, just to be honest. All right, and the last pick is going to be. Oh, it's done. That's it. Somebody got taken. I didn't see who it was. It was Alex Verdugo and then somebody else. All right, guys, that's it. And the last pick was Taj Bradley. That's what it was. All right. There is our fantasy endgame league. I hope this kind of helped you get an idea of where we value those players, thought process throughout the draft. You still got drafts left. Maybe this help you out, of course. Check out all the draft videos I've been putting out. We're going to go live again, a lot more. I just want, before y'all go, to make sure you know, we're going to do a lot more live baseball drafts this season, multiple times a week, Q&A, waiver wire on Sundays to help you know who to pick up, who to drop, and just weekly, as far as who's hot, who's not, who to stream, who to worry about, all those videos. I appreciate everybody being on here. And hopefully next year, get even more endgame leagues in. Y'all can participate. Hey, did anybody draft him? Did he get taken? I can go pick him up right now and stash him. I think I might do that. Although, look, you know this. I'm more of a Dylan Cruz guy. I've been taking him more, but yeah, I will take James Wood. But if James Wood, not the conservative actor James Woods, but if James Wood takes off in his rookie of the year, Trist, you get all the credit. I know. I could have taken him. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all being on here. Again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, notifications so you know when we go live. We're going to do it again this week. So we'll see you then.